Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? Breaking news. I'm minding my own business, trying to get some work done, and then bam, Bryce Huff happens. Bryce Huff happens. Like, how did we get here? Like, this is crazy. But we saw this coming. We knew how we had some things in the works. I think crazy that might be a bit of an overstatement. We knew how he was trying to get rid of him. I thought they was going to try to keep him, but I also, in the back of my head, trying to come off that contract. And I think he adjusted his contract a little bit so he could get to San Francisco. That was a smart move by his people. His best year was with Robert Saleh up in New York, and now Saleh's out in San Francisco. So that makes perfect sense. To me, that's a win-win. We don't need anybody right now. He was a no-show, not a no-show, but they deemed him inactive in the Super Bowl. So, he got his ring, he'll shine it. And I'll tell anybody, if you on the squad, when you get a ring, you earned it. I ain't mad at him for that. And he'll forever be listed as a Super Bowl champion, and rightfully so. So he's in the perfect spot. Bryce Huff got the perfect landing spot. Going out to the West Coast, warm weather, great organization. You got good history, and you with a coach that knows how to get the best out of you. That's the key thing. Carlos, I saw you. Appreciate you bringing first out the limo, but I think that was you, Carlos? No, Cody K. Cody K said Huff will play better under Saleh than Fangio. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that it's the coaching, although, well, no, let me say it like this. I agree with you, but I think it's because we already got weapons. We already got people that's proven that did have an opportunity to play, and they're going to get the lion's share of the reps. So from that standpoint, he's going to get a better opportunity with Robert Saleh in San Francisco. So from that standpoint, correct. I agree. I'm trying not to make overcomplicated. So 100% correct, Cody. Robert Saleh knows how to get the most out of him. Not saying that Vic Fangio couldn't have, but Vic Fangio and what he was putting on tape kind of wasn't lining up. The math wasn't mathing. And it's not that, again, I don't think Fangio wouldn't bring out the best in him, but when you've already got proven starters in front of you that are getting the job done, why would you go back? Why would you go back to him? So he had his opportunities, and I mean, let's be quite honest. The first couple games, it was god awful. Falling down, blocking air, all of that type of stuff. It was worst case scenario for him. It was Murphy and all of his laws for Bryce Huff. And I didn't think Bryce Huff was a bad player, not even close. And he started getting better till he got hurt. So Howie's a genius. He had the Niners pay half his salary. Yep. And they restructured the rest. Absolutely. Huff deal into a mid round pick. And most importantly, 15 million in salary cap money added to next season. Absolutely. He got that money back. Put that money back in his pocket. Y'all remember them old cartoons where Ledoux would put the coin in the vending machine and had a string attached and he would snatch it out and put the money back in his pocket? That's what Howie doing. So that might be true, man. That might be true. You got to have a certain kind of personality. And honestly, in this situation, to me, and this is just my opinion, is in his situation, it's not personality, it's play. And when he first got out there on the field, I am quite positive that those were not nice conversations in film sessions. Because on film, it looked bad. It looked real bad. Now, again, he got better as the year went on, but first couple games, it was not pretty. Everybody got that one clip of him coming off the line of scrimmage and falling to all fours and never even reaching the offensive tackle. He never even made it to the tackle. The tackle backstepped and looked down on him and just put his hand on him. He didn't have to do nothing. That was not a good look. And I bet you he got flame broiled in film sessions after that. Rightfully so. Especially they don't look at him like, man, this is what we paying all this money for. So, that's the way it goes, man. You got to be able to produce. And if you're not producing, people gonna call you out on it. Get him for a Chick-fil-A spicy deluxe meal. What's up, Key Shorty? I'm trying to see, what did they get? It said mid-round, right? If you know in the chat, put it in the chat. What did the Eagles get? From the 49ers. Philadelphia Eagles traded defensive end Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a mid-round draft pick. What is a mid-round? The trade also involved Huff reworking his contract to facilitate the move, with the 49ers picking up a portion of his salary. Now, here's an interesting thing, and I love to bring stuff like this up when you're talking to, because this applies to everybody, right? This applies to everybody in the league. If you want to be somewhere bad enough, if you want to be out of a situation bad enough, you will do what needs to be done to make it happen. If you want to be out of a particular situation bad enough, you will do whatever needs to be done, including costing yourself maybe $5 to $10 million. Because Bryce Huff could have stayed pat and had the Eagles pay him. He might not have played, but he would have collected that money. And let me be honest with you, some people will do that. But when you want to play bad enough, it's not worth the headache. You already got enough. He ain't gonna miss no meals. And he got a ring. He ain't gonna miss no meals. So good on him. Swallow the ego. Take less money and be somewhere where you know you have an opportunity to play and contribute. And you get an opportunity to do that with the coach that got you there in the first place. Robert Saleh should not have been fired from New York. It was not his problem while New York was failing. It was the GMs who decided to bring in Aaron Rodgers and that sideshow. Y'all let Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets let Aaron Rodgers talk them into bringing in his favorite receiver, and it still didn't work. Meanwhile, the New York Jets defense was pretty damn good. But when you're the head man, shit rolls downhill. and he was let go unceremoniously. I remember the story that he reported he came into the stadium like everything was good, like he was getting prepared for a normal day. He got blindsided with his firing. So, when I see stuff like that, that's why I don't like Sean Payton in Denver. I don't, and I'm not the biggest Russell Wilson fan, but you ain't gonna just treat me any old kind of way. And he got the right one because Russell Wilson ain't that dude that's gonna fire back at you and cuss you out and all of that type of stuff. He get bullies only do that to the people that let him do that. And I felt bad for Russ because he was trying to do his thing. I don't care if he's quirky or corny. I don't care about all that shit. He got you some wins and damn, they got you in the playoffs. And you gonna embarrass him on national TV like that? And you knew you could get away with it because he ain't the type to come back at you like that. That's just his personality. You know he a Christian dude. He ain't gonna cuss you out. He ain't gonna do all of that stuff. So Sean Payton did that on purpose, and that's why I don't like Sean Payton. Aaron Rodgers to me is in the same boat. All of the nonsense, all of the other shit that he creates, not worth it. In his later years, it's not worth it because he ain't been producing. Maybe when he was younger, but not now. Not now. So, congrats to Robert Saleh being in the situation. He knows the coaching staff out there. That's why they brought him out there in the first place. So he's getting it done, and he will get it done. Just as long as he don't get it done on us. Long as he don't get it done on us. Hold on for a second. I keep doing this, man, and it keep pissing me off because I do these lives and I keep forgetting to set my stuff right, and I don't even have the monetization on, and I'm just screwing myself basically. Oh my god, screw myself. There we go, much better. But I'm happy they got it done. Howie Roseman did it again, and we will be better for that. We will definitely be better for that. So I'm sorry. What's going on in the chat? What up, Quentin? If they get more than 6th round pick, they did a good job. It just says mid round, which is annoying. Trying to see if there's any elaboration. Huff signed a 3-year, $51 million. Struggled a little bit to make the trade happen. Huff reworked his contract with the Eagles, taking on. Okay, so of his salary and the 49ers. Okay. So the 49ers covered the other almost 8 million. Okay. All right, Howie. I see you. I see you. For a mid-round draft pick. What the hell is mid-round? Can we get specific? Good grief. The cap specifics on this deal. The Eagles declined Bryce Huff's 15.58 fully guaranteed option bonus, which turned into base salary. Philadelphia then turned 9.5 of that base salary into a signing bonus, which allowed San Francisco to take on the remaining 7.95 million. There you go. Let's see if this says any more of it, or is the same stuff. In some Eagles. Okay, yeah, this is the same stuff. Yeah, they just regurgitate the same stuff. So yeah. All right, Howie. Howie's still doing Howie things. I ain't got no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. You don't pay to get rid of someone and call it a fleece unless the pick is like a third. But if it's a day 3 pick, and I agree with that. I don't think it's a fleece. I honestly just think that was the best thing for both parties, and that was an amicable way to do it because technically the Eagles were kind of under the gun because they gave him the contract in the first place. So when you get a situation where another team is going to take up some of that contract, and just like it said, how he flip that salary and turn it into a signing bonus. Problem solved. So Howie Roseman playing chess again. Even if he got to come out of pocket a little bit, it's still better than what it could have been. So we come out with the win. Win-win on both sides. We get the pick. And we'll see if it's a fifth or a fourth or something like that, then we'll be much happy with that. And the way Howie's been drafting lately, um, getting picks in the fourth, fifth round, sixth round, and they turn out to be starters or contributors. His track record, his batting average is pretty good the last 3-4 years. So um, we can roll with that. Yeah, I don't think too many teams would have traded for him, but we only needed one. We only needed one. And luckily, his coach, Robert Saleh, is part of that one. Yeah, that is a great question. That is a great question. And this is how I feel about the situation. He had to be doing something right. He had to be doing something right to get all of them. He got what, 12 sacks that year? He had to be doing something right. So Saleh, Bryce Huff and Robert Saleh they had something dialed in. I don't know what it was. So yeah, Carlos, it is what it is. Even when I'm on vacation, I ain't on vacation. You know how it go. Yeah, stacking up on draft picks again. And let's not forget, here's a reminder that Howie's doing this, and they're using this as capital because they got a lot of stuff to do, and they got a lot of stuff to maneuver when they get this Jalen Carter deal done. So we'll see, because he's got to be able to turn that into cash. So what's up, Alex? Free at last. Yeah. That's it, Kev. We got to me, it's all Jalen Carter, man. It's all Jalen Carter. That is the Jalen Carter's gonna get Milt Williams money for sure. Because I believe Jalen Carter's gonna be better than Milt Williams next year. So I know Mike Vrabel's a good coach, a good defensive coach, but I just think Jalen Carter's that good. Period. So yeah, that's what I assume. The mid round fifth. I'm curious as to why they wouldn't say it though. Why everybody's saying mid round pick? Like I don't. Why can't you just say what pick it is? That's kind of curious to me. Good point, Alex. Because it's nothing's gonna happen till June 1st, anyways. So you're right. Peace, Robbie. What's going on, dude? Appreciate you. How Joe Douglas being in the building helps. I think it helps tremendously. Joe Douglas was not bad at his job. I would be curious as to, did Joe Douglas want to bring in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams? Was that his deal, or did he approve it? Because even did he want to bring in Zach Wilson? So I don't know, man. I think it's good that he's home. That means he's got less things to worry about, because he could have probably got another job somewhere else. But hey, he's better. He's better now than he was when we got rid of him. Or not, we didn't get rid of him. He left. He took the opportunity in New York. But in my opinion, he's better now than he was then. Just whether you agree or not, he was the right person in New York. He's got that experience now, and that's got to count. So um, we are benefiting from the L he just took, because there's lessons in loss. And for the most part, that wasn't a fruitful situation in New York. So we get the benefit from the experience he has gained from those L's. Because now, if you don't learn nothing else from a loss, you learn what not to do. So I don't know. if he had anything to do with Zach Wilson. But you gotta, if he the GM, you gotta sign off on it. You gotta sign off on it. But guess what? I look at Zach Wilson, and can you give Zach Wilson some time? Would he have been at least as good as your boy with the Giants? Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones? I don't know. But clearly it had to be some other stuff with Zach Wilson. Had to be some other stuff going with it that was getting a little out of hand, because you don't just jettison a first round pick like that. So to me, it had to be a little bit more than the play. So I'm going to guess, just my opinion, that it was some more off the field stuff or in the meeting room or personality stuff that just wasn't jiving right. So they had to cut their losses. The bonus says it could be a conditional fifth that could turn into a fourth. Okay, if we get a fourth out of it, I'm digging that. Very similar to the Hassan Reddick trade. Gotcha. Because think about it. Think about it like this. Because didn't we just swap Hassan Reddick and Bryce Huff? And what did Hassan Reddick do in New York? Next to nothing. Bryce Huff, next to nothing. But we got the ring out of the deal. So as much, and you guys know, as much as I wanted to keep Hassan Reddick in Philadelphia, Howie made the right move. He made the right move. '49ers gave away too much, especially picking up some of the money he's due. I'm gonna guess that Robert Saleh politicked for him. Like really, like it's like, hey, trust me, I can make this guy a player, that sort of thing. Robert Saleh made that happen. Yeah, we don't need no more wide receivers. We need a good third, but I don't see us going out to get somebody like that. So hey, man, it's I like it. I like it. Yeah, Robbie, I said you missed when I said that earlier. Robert Saleh was a damn good coach, and whatever him not getting along with Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what the hell was wrong with Aaron Rodgers. You see him doing the shit now. Just call the damn Steelers and tell them you coming. Like it's just an unnecessary distraction. And to me, he's already proven that he ain't that dude no more that can just show up to camp and just start ripping it. He ain't that guy no more. He need to get in there and get as much work as he can in the preseason to get along and get on the same page as the young guys and all. Like he need to be that dude, because at his age, he just ain't got it like that no more. He ain't Tom Brady. He ain't Tom Brady that can sling it around when you damn near 42 years old. He ain't that dude. Your Achilles, your Achilles expiration date was pulled. Now maybe you could have done something differently after that, but nah, you were 30, what, 37, 38-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury, and you still might not be 100%. How old is Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. He is not Tom Brady. He is not Tom Brady. So, oh, dude, I saw that. Yeah, I remember that. That was, you ain't got to show him up. At least you could do is play the part, man. You ain't got to be buddy buddies off the field, but doing shit like that, when all the cameras are on you, you know what type of problems that causes. And he does it anyways, because you're the quarterback, you're the leader of the team. So you know how the sausage is made, dude. You know what comes with doing shit like that, and he did it anyways. So you know what? Karma is a bitch. You get what you get. Huff and Puff blow his butt to San Francisco. Think tank, that's funny, bro. That's funny. Uh yeah, man. And I used to like Aaron Rodgers because I remember I was an Aaron Rodgers fan because I didn't like Brett Favre. And I was looking for Aaron Rodgers to come to. Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre was the same thing with Steve Young and Joe Montana. You replacing a legend, and you know what? You lived up to it. You lived up to it. Aaron Rodgers got just as many Super Bowls as Brett Favre, right? So it is what it is, man. I just think Aaron Rodgers is a dick. It's like unnecessary. I hate when people do unnecessary shit. You go out of your way to try to make somebody look bad or set up a situation where you know people gonna ask you about it, and you just creating problems for your team because now your team got it. Y'all know how it works. Y'all know how it works. We've been doing this long enough, man. Ain't no excuses. And you can't go into a situation and say I didn't think that was gonna happen or why did he do something like this? You listen. Most people do not make mistakes. Let me say that again. Most people do not make mistakes. I don't care what you do. I don't care on your job. I don't care if you're a professional athlete, if you in the NFL, MLB, WNBA, it don't matter. Most people do not make mistakes. They make bad decisions. A mistake means you had most of the information you needed. You went left when you should have went right. You gathered all the information that you could get and you took like an educated guess. You did the best you could do with what you had and it came out wrong. That's a mistake. Or you didn't have all the information and you thought you was doing the right thing and you didn't. That's a mistake. But 95% of the time, people go into bad situations, making bad decisions with their eyes wide open. They knew exactly what they was doing. They knew exactly what would happen if they did it. They knew exactly why they did it. They didn't know exactly who they was doing it to. All of that stuff. People make bad decisions. Aaron Rodgers is just making bad decisions this late in his career. And you 41 years old, coming off a bad Achilles, which could pop again at any given time. So quit trying to string teams along and all of this type of stuff, man. Sign with the Steelers, make it be known, come in there and be the. Hopefully, you can be half of the quarterback you used to be. But don't play with people like that, man. Don't play with people like that. So, but back to us. I'm sorry I went on that rant. Let me step down off this soapbox. But I'm happy for the Eagles. I look at it like this, man. It's one less thing to worry about. One less thing to worry about. So I think we're good to go. Um, OTAs is going on. Everybody, like they do every year, and y'all heard me talk about this. I don't get up for OTAs like that. I know what they are. I know what the purpose is. And just because I see Jalen Hurts rolling out, just because he throws, a decent pass, that don't mean he's throwing dimes and dropping dimes and doing this and doing that. It's like pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Now, if the rookies are doing that in rookie camp and somebody's looking good, okay, then you can talk a little talk, but it's still rookie camp. It's still rookie camp. That's a double-edged sword. Like you look at somebody like Shador, that's a double-edged sword. I saw the report. I saw the report about Shador that he went 13 for 13, right? First time somebody went perfect, 13 for 13. But I need to hear what passes did he throw? Were they all 5-yard outs? Did he throw some deep balls? Like what did he do? However, so now he went 13 for 13, and everybody's giving him all the accolades for that. The double-edged sword is he don't get the props for doing something like that because it's in camp. You're not going against real competition. But if he'd have thrown 3 interceptions, everybody would be letting you know about like, nah, maybe he don't cut it. You see what I'm saying? So it's you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. He had to go out there and be perfect. And then it's like, yeah, that's not bad. But if it had been Dylan Gabriel, you see what I'm saying? They'd have pumped it up. Very similar to what they did with Trevor Lawrence, his first year down in Jacksonville. And I remember saying this. If Trevor Lawrence had Jalen Hurts' stats, Trevor Lawrence would have went to the Pro Bowl. But they looking for a certain thing. And even though Trevor Lawrence was average, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. He was just average. And they tried to pump him up to a place where he didn't belong. And it has shown. The one thing about the NFL and really any professional sports for that matter, it doesn't matter if somebody is hyped or not. Eventually, it will play itself out and you're going to see what you see and you're going to get what you get. So they can talk all that smack about what it looks like in camp and this, that, and the other. Eventually, Shador is going to go against another team. And I don't want to make it sound like that I'm against Shador because I'm rooting for Shador to make the team because they should have drafted him in the first damn place. But it's funny how they switched the narrative because it's to the point, and I said this before, Cleveland is the epicenter of the NFL right now. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. But everybody's trying to pay attention to see what Shador does. I done listened to a couple of Cleveland Browns podcasts. And I ain't never do that. I'm from Ohio. But I'm trying to get a sense of what are the other people in Cleveland saying about Shador, not the highlight that they show on ESPN. And they can change that narrative one way or the other. What are the people that are actually in town watching him every day? What are they saying? And for the most part, you still gonna have people that are naysayers and he went 13 for 13, but it was just all right. And some people was like, listen, I got to get him credit. He's better than I thought. So you getting it on both sides. So it's interesting to see how this is going. Clearly, just from based on the stuff that I'm hearing, clearly he has looked better than Dylan Gabriel. Not saying that Dylan Gabriel looked bad. But I want to see how this plays out. Want to see how this plays out. What's going on, Tiff? Definitely want to see how this play out. Yeah, Tiff, Howie, come on, man. We talking Captain Obvious now. You talking about a GM that's dialed in. That's a gross understatement to say that Howie Roseman is dialed in. He knows what's going on. He's on the pulse. He done figured it out. And to whoever was talking about bringing Joe Douglas back, Joe Douglas understands Joe Douglas trying to get another piece of that. Because Howie Roseman wasn't doing this when Joe Douglas left. So again, we get the benefit of the lessons that he learned in New York, and he gonna be under Howie Roseman again. So he's by the time he leaves again, because he's gonna get another job, he's gonna be that much better again. I don't think anything until wait and see. Yeah, y'all know my thing on that. Pump the brakes on the OTA talk, the camp talk. It's great. If you want to get hyped about something you see in camp, wait till they scrimmage another team. Wait till they do a live practice with another team or they travel and they got a week practicing against another team. That's when you can get excited about what you see. I think what happened to Sanders might have been the best thing for him. I hope he wins now. Uh, I I'll agree. We'll agree to disagree on that one. I think the best thing to happen to him was that he should have been drafted where he should have been drafted. For real. Because to me, that's not a good look. Especially with all of the problems that they've had in the league, especially with all of the other number one pick quarterbacks who weren't for shit or who were getting in all kinds of trouble before they got drafted. You could go down the list and find a whole bunch of shit from all of these other quarterbacks, and they still went in the first round. So to all of a sudden, you want to make an example of Shador, that's kind of bullshit. That's BS. Because they've taken guys with essays in college. They've taken guys with DUIs. They've taken guys that had issues with drugs. They've taken guys with, gun charges. At the end of the day, if you want somebody bad enough, you'll forget all of the bullshit. And they were looking for a reason not to pick the kid. And I'll stand by it. If it had been any other quarterback, you take any other quarterback in any conference and you give him Shador Sanders numbers. And I'm not talking about like all the quarterbacks Take out the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round, or take out every first round quarterback, and you look at every other quarterback and you give them Shador Sanders stats. Some of these quarterbacks probably would have been Heisman candidates. Shador should have been a Heisman candidate. So, I think it's a bunch of BS with some people trying to send a message and all that type of stuff. I think there's some truth to that, but also you got to take into consideration how many teams really needed a quarterback like that. So you only talking about 4 or 5 teams. But I think some teams gonna F around and find out that they really made a mistake. They really made a mistake. So we'll see. I did not hear how he did the rookie contract. I don't know what happened. Put it in the chat. I'm not sure. Think tank. I don't necessarily believe in the collusion aspect of it. Like all of the teams were conspiring against Shador Sanders. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't necessarily believe all of the stuff they were saying on ESPN, that the threat of Deion Sanders possibly coming to the team as a coach. I don't necessarily believe that, because at the end of the day, the owner's got to make that happen, not the GM. The owner, at the end of the day, the owner's got to sign off on everything. The owner can veto everybody and say, no, I'm not hiring Deion Sanders as a head coach. I'm not doing so. I don't believe that. And for coaches to say they was worried about all of that, that's kind of disingenuous. Because at the end of the day, if you're not winning, your job is on the line anyways. What difference does it make who might replace you? If you're not winning, you're going to get fired and you ain't got no say-so in the matter regardless. So I thought that was a crock of crap. And mind you, ain't nobody have a problem with this shit when the Mannings did it. Nobody. Didn't know. At least I didn't think that Eli Manning was that good coming out of Ole Miss. Not at all. I thought he was good living off his brother, and that's exactly how it played out. He gonna get in the Hall of Fame from a couple lucky catches. Because if who was that? Who caught the ball on the helmet in the playoffs? If that catch doesn't happen, but it is what it is. I like him better now that he's out of football, because I couldn't stand him in football, because I was always mad, and I was very aware of the fact that he got to call his shot, and I had never seen anybody else do that before. When John Elway did it, I really wasn't paying attention to the draft. John Elway came out and said who he wasn't going to play for, and I was like, when Eli Manning did it, I was like, hold on, how come he get to do that? How come nobody else can call their shot like that? I didn't. I wasn't feeling that at all, because he didn't want to go to San Diego. So, I don't agree with that think tank. You know why? Because he was home. He was home. Hassan Reddick is just an older version of Jahad Campbell. He's from the area. He's from South Jersey. He was producing, and I wish the Eagles would have. You keep your homeboys at home. He earned the contract he was looking for. He earned the money he was looking for. He earned it. They just didn't want to pay him because the age. And I understand that. I understand the business aspect of that. I just wish that we could have found a way to keep him here, because he earned it. He outplayed every contract he had. Everyone. So I didn't think we would have had any slowdown. I would have loved to have seen another year Hassan Reddick, and what N'Kobe Dean and Zach Bond and Nolan Smith were doing. Now I like Jalen Hunt. Don't get me twisted, but can you imagine if Nolan Smith would have done what he done? Jalen Carter gets better, and you got Hassan on the other side. That would have been could the could the Eagles defense have been any better? Yes, they could have been. Because I don't think that he was really going to lose a step. And just that's just my opinion. So I agree with that. I agree with that. My disdain for Eli Manning is because, like I said, it's really not from his play. And I stand by he got that lucky catch. Um, but I just didn't I never liked the fact that he got the chance to call his shot. And I thought when especially when I played with somebody like Randall Cunningham, when I played against Doug Flutie, and you see guys like that every chance they got to try to tear him down, they did. And I was like, why does this guy get to pick his shot? So just my personal bias. I don't want to hear nothing from Micah's brother. I don't pay it no mind. I don't follow him on social media, and I choose to ignore it. Listen, I didn't want to see him get rid of Swift. In my opinion, Swift could have been as effective, almost as effective as Saquon, in my opinion, if they would have used him right. Swift would have been a better receiver in the screen game, and Swift was a home run hitter. We just didn't run the ball enough. How many? What did Swift average? What was his average carries per game here? Just imagine. And I'll even go back to Miles Sanders. If they would have ran Miles Sanders the way they should have, Miles Sanders could have led the league in rushing. He ended up like what, fourth, fifth in the league that year. And then I remember doing the video on this. Who led the league that year? Was it Brandon Jacobs? Um, Whoever the leader was in rushing, I took the difference in rushing attempts. I think it was Jacobs. I think it was that year, 21, I think it was 21, 22. But um I think Jacobs was the leader, but he had ran the ball like 55 more times than Miles Sanders. So what I did was I took 55 and I multiplied it by Miles Sanders' average yards per carry. And if he would have got the same amount of carries, he would have led the league in rushing. Period. And I'm saying that based on the stats, but still, we didn't run them right. We didn't run Miles Sanders right. We didn't run DeAndre Swift right, and DeAndre was proven to be a home run hitter with our offensive line. The way they were playing, Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, and you saw what happened with Saquon. Now, just imagine if we would have ran the other two like we ran Saquon. Just imagine if they would have gotten at least 20 carries a game. We had the offensive line to do it, and for whatever reason, and I know the reason, we get offensive coordinators that are stuck on throwing the ball for 500 yards a game. And at least we got to the point where Jalen Hurts could prove that you ain't got to throw the ball all like that to win games. You don't have to do that. You win it in the trenches. You win it in the trenches. And that's what we did. Saquon Barkley was the best of the best. Our offensive line was the best of the best. And we got a ring for it. So the theory is not a theory. It's a proven fact. Yeah, Eli comes from royalty. I agree. I agree. I know that's why he called his shot, but still, it just didn't sit right with me. Because to me, I was like, that ain't fair. And for the same reason that everybody thinks that the owners colluded to not let Shador Sanders get drafted, You don't think they colluded to make that happen? You got a rookie that's unproven that hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL, and he telling you where he not gonna go. So basically, he coming in saying, "Well, what you not gonna do is draft me in San Diego." So Sanders SA reunion. Okay, okay. If I could bring back one player we lost in free agency this past year, I would bring it back CJ. I would bring back CJ Gardner Johnson. He's another one. He earned um Howie gambled on him and he won. And then he collected his chips. Because let's go back in the Wayback Machine real quick. Um CJ Gardner Johnson overshot the market in 22. He was tied in the league with interceptions. I believe he was tied with six, either six or eight. I think it was. I think it was six. So if you tops in the league in interception, he played it. He was physical. All of that stuff that we wanted, he did. So when it came time to ask for that raise, he overshot the market. But I don't begrudge him for taking his shot. Name your price. He was tied for the league in interceptions. You should want a new contract. Name your price. So just like Howie gambled, CJ Gardner Johnson gambled. And that's what you're supposed to do when you come off a banner year like that. And then he goes to Detroit and gets hurt. Then he comes back. And he talked about being humble and all that type of stuff. Listen, you were one of the best at your position in the league. You deserved a bigger contract. You just wasn't getting it from us. And that's the way it went down. And then, of course, that next year, we shit the bed on the defense with all of that nonsense with Matt Patricia and all of that. It was just, that was a blessing in disguise for CJ Garner Johnson. Then he comes back and he plays lights out again. But now he got a ring. And now he goes somewhere else and gets another payday. So I'm not mad at CJ Garner Johnson. But if I could have him back, I would like to have him back. But half the reason is they got to see what they got in Sidney Brown. I think Sidney Brown is a player. And him tearing up his knee, and then now we got Drew Makuba to push him. But I don't think Sidney Brown is going to lose that job. I just think we got two good safeties back there, but I think that is Sidney Brown's job to lose. People forget Sidney Brown is a baller. Not saying that Drew Makuba is not, but I don't see Sidney Brown just letting somebody come in and take his job. And it's not like Vic didn't like him. He knows the defense. He knows where he's supposed to be. And he got a whole year of sitting in the cut watching film. Yeah, that's how it happened. If Eli Manning doesn't do what he do, Eli doesn't, or Drew Brees doesn't end up in New Orleans. Yeah, NFL is a nasty business. They are not your friend. What's up, Private McClunky? They were going to pay him, but he kept playing, and they ended up using the money on Bradbury and Slay. Yeah, well, remember. I I did a video about Slay because if you remember, Slay's wife was on social media talking about they was leaving. Slay was on the news saying that he thought he was out of here. He was packing up his apartment, all of that type of stuff. Slay was saying this. This wasn't rumors. This wasn't sources close to the situation. Slay was saying this himself. And then CJ Garner Johnson happened. And then Howie, because Slay hadn't re-signed with anybody, Howie was like, hold up. And then the whole Dom thing happened, and he scooped it back up. Slay was like, oh, wait a minute. See how things turn? Slay had already convinced himself that he was gone. And then CJ happened. And then we got both of them. And not for nothing, Bradbury was good that Super Bowl year. Bradbury was more than solid. Now, I don't know what happened to him last year or in 23. It looked like he fell off a cliff. I don't know if he was quietly hurt. I don't know what the situation was, but Bradbury was bad. Looked like he was running the oatmeal the whole year. Couldn't cover nobody and just, I don't know what happened. But the previous year, he was pretty damn good. He got, sucked that he got that bad call on him in the Super Bowl because he had played a relatively good Super Bowl. But he stuck around. He got his ring. I ain't mad at him. So Ringo, I'm a fan of Ringo, Tiffany. I like Ringo. I want to see him play. I want to see him get more snaps. I think Ringo is going to be a player. I mean, Sidney Brown's a good player. If he wasn't hurt last season, yeah, I agree. I think Sid Brown, Sid Brown is not one to play with. He is fast. He is physical. My only criticism of him, he reminds me a little bit of Marcus Epps, where he's moving so fast that he gets out of control. And sometimes it seems like he's going for the big hit rather than wrap up and make the tackle. So, but I could have said the same thing about CJ too. CJ Gardner-Johnson did a lot of that. So, but I think Sidney Brown is ready for it. Yeah, I'm with you, Humble. I'm a fan of Ringo, and I am a fan of my man Nakobe Dean. I want to see Nakobe Dean come back strong. So, but we'll see. One thing that I've said is, in my opinion, Vic Fangio is at the same level of Jeff Stoutland, in my opinion. To me, he's earned that level of trust with what our defense is going to do. He's earned it. So on both sides of the ball, I'm hands off. I know Jeff Stoutland is going to have us have the best offensive line in football. And Vic Fangio has proven he don't put up with the nonsense. He don't care what round you were drafted in. If you're not playing on the field, you're not playing. And it should always be like that, but it's not. People play contracts, not the best players. That's the ugly side of the NFL. When you hear guys talk about it was a numbers game, and when you hear those type of cliche things, that's what they're talking about. It's not fair. You got to play the game, but the game ain't fair. There's people been on the bench who have been clearly better players, but they paying somebody $8 million a year, so they got to play him. So, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Sid Brown, hey Rob, you already know, bro. Sid Brown coming. He coming. So, what's his name? I know you're talking about. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I was not happy that they got the kid from Boston College. Iziraku. I was not happy they got him. So hopefully, he drinks the Kool-Aid too, like Micah Parsons did. So if Micah Parsons would still have a level head, Dallas would be dangerous because Micah Parsons is the leader of that defense, but he didn't drink the Kool-Aid. He didn't drink that Dallas, that blueberry flavored Kool-Aid down in Dallas. He didn't drink it too much. So he getting in his own way. Yeah. Listen, I bring that up all the time, Think Tank. Who was that? What's the DB down there in Miami? Jalen, what's his name? I'm forgetting his last name. Jalen something down in Miami. He came out with that video. He ain't really say nothing, but he came out with that video where he was kicking rocks. And thank you, Jalen Ramsey, where he was insinuating good riddance with Vic Fangio, kick rocks. And I'm like, wait a minute, he had y'all defenses the 10th in the league. So you was a top 10 defense in the league. And you bitching? Because you didn't like his expectations? You didn't like how he coached you? He was an old school type of coach and didn't put up with that bullshit that y'all was doing down in Miami? Okay. Meanwhile, we had the best defense in the league last year, and we shine in the ring. So guess what? Dallas and Miami, y'all keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Dallas, you keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Miami, you keep going to the bench or going to the beach. Y'all keep doing that. There's a cost when you do that. There's already a aura about Miami that you can only get so serious in Miami because there's too many distractions. Hell, they going through the shit with CD Lamb filming the thing on the beach or whatever. Well, who was that? Was that CD that was on the beach right before camp or whatever? I don't know, man. It's like I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So I don't want Ramsey either. I don't want him either. Look at what happened when because they raised all of that hell when we got Matt Patricia and we knew what happened between Patricia and Slay out in Detroit. And Slay was like, Slay went professional on him. He did the professional thing, like, hey, we can get along. We had to talk, But if anytime a player will say that shit out loud, it was bad. It was bad. Because most of the time you try to keep that shit to yourself. Because eventually you're gonna have to get another job somewhere. So for Slay to come out and say the stuff that was going on with Matt Patricia, he was pissed off about it. And he did not want Patricia here. The fact that they had to have a meeting in the first place should let you know everything you need to know. Private, I do not know about Gilmore. Nah, he was on the boat, bro. He was on a was it a boat or I think you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right, Tiff. You're right. He was in the golf cart with the three girls and the beer girl. It's like, man, just stop. That was Diggs. Yes, thank you. Thank you. What did I say? CeeDee Lamb? Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Diggs. And it's like, come on, man. You gotta keep that shit to yourself, man. Keep that shit to yourself. I still tell that story, man. I remember seeing that first story, and this was the beginning of the end. This was the beginning of social media, of people really taking social media seriously. And I believe it was what was the receiver in the white dude in New England, the receiver. Damn it. Boy, I'm getting old. I'm forgetting all these damn names, man. What was the receiver in New England with Tom Brady? Ugh. But anyways, he was over in France and hooked up with some chick in France. Now, mind you, he ain't married or nothing like that. But he hooked up with some chick over in France, or it was France, Monaco, whatever it was. And I'm assuming that they did what they did. She took a picture of him in the hotel room sleep, and she posted it on her social media. And that was the beginning of it. And now you got all this shit, people talking shit on they podcast, and then Diggs does what he does, and it's like, man, come on. Um, I agree with that. I agree with that. I would love to see Steichen back because the best out of Steichen got the best out of Jalen throwing the ball, in my opinion. Because Jalen had a good year throwing the ball. Not a great year, but a good year. It was better than that Super Bowl year. It's weird how that works. Weird how that works. So, but nah, it wasn't Gonzalez. Edelman. I think it was Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. But all right, man. I wanted to hang out with y'all for an hour. I'm going to get me something to eat. Um, appreciate y'all hanging out with me on my vacation. This was unplanned, so I appreciate you showing up. Um, yep, still trying to get it together. I've been doing a lot of work, working on my graphics this week. I am about to officially do my split that is coming in the next few weeks. I think I'm going to give it until August, till when football season starts in earnest. But I will be doing an official split. As you guys know, that let me see if I can bring this up. Yeah. So as you guys know, that I started a second channel for the hoops, Pro Fan Hoops. So the official split will probably come in August, late July, early August. So all of my hoop content, all of my basketball, WNBA, college basketball stuff is going to be on this channel, Pro Fan Hoops, and everything else, um, it'll be 90% Eagle stuff on Pro Fan Talk. That's how I'm gonna divide it. So I'm still trying to crawl with this, and I only got 71 subscribers. So if you subscribe, make sure you go over to Pro Fan Hoops and subscribe to me there. I'm trying to build this one up so I can separate the two because I think I'm kind of splitting my audience a little bit. So, um, so yep, I started it. I'm just, I'm basically just putting all of the basketball content that I created on this site. I'm just slowly moving it over there, whether it's up to date or not. So, but I'm gonna do it. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here. Make sure y'all subscribe to Pro Fan Hoops. Make sure you subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And we're gonna keep getting it done. I appreciate everybody showing up, showing out. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. And I will see you in the next one. Peace. Go Birds.